Welcome to the Business Building Blocks podcast, where we talk about the struggles and celebrations that leaders and entrepreneurs experience on their journey to success. I'm your host, Kristina, and I'm passionate about helping you achieve massive amounts of success at work and at home. We'll talk about all things people and organizational wellness, share relatable stories, and feature insightful guests because quality people and processes are at the heart of every success story. Ready to learn, grow, and have fun? Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to the Business Building Blocks podcast. I'm your host, Kristina Schmitt. So I have a very fun guest for us today. I'd like to introduce Suzanne Longstreet. Suzanne is a mindset coach, an NLP master coach, and founder of Success and Clarity, and also an author. So welcome, Suzanne.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. Suzanne and I got a chance to chat before this, and it was such a fun conversation. So I'm super excited to share with you her gifts and share with you what she does with her clients and just how that can help us as leaders, as business owners, as humans, and everything else, because it's just everything you're doing is so awesome and just helpful to bring it all together for us. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here and
Excellent.
get to have this conversation with you.
Excellent. So why don't you tell us a little bit just about Suzanne? Tell us about yourself.
I live in Canada, just north of Toronto. I have been coaching for, a long time, 15 years now. I have a lovely husband who's loving and sweet and kind and supportive. And I love to travel. Next month, I'm heading to Europe for a couple of weeks.
Couple months would be great too.
Yeah, life is good. I've created a nice life for myself and a happy little business that I enjoy.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
So what I'm doing now is in 2015, I took all the trainings for neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, hypnosis, and became a certified and designated NLP master coach. What that means is that when I work with clients, I can guarantee the results. Or I keep working with them until they get the results that they want. So if they come to me and they say, I want to double or triple my revenue, I work with them until we get that done. It usually happens in a lot shorter period of time than they believe. I often joke and say the time that it takes is on, like I know the problem's gone, and most of my work is convincing them that the problem's gone. Yeah. Because it works that fast, which is what I love. So hypnosis is another one. I'm a trainer and a master hypnotherapist. About 5 years ago, became designated. I love designations and learning. So I became a certified positive intelligence coach. So I learned, which is more in neuroscience. Then I went on to further my neuroscience education and went and learned neuroscience and how the brain works and how we can rewire that. And so with all of these tools and techniques and processes, I now work with females mostly. Of course, I work with men. People often say to me, do you work with men too? I said, yeah, they have brains. I work with men. When I market to a female entrepreneur. But yeah, I can work with a female entrepreneur, male entrepreneur, a leader, somebody who I've worked with, teachers, real estate agents. I have a broad spectrum, again, to help people, because what I've learned about myself, and because I was my first client going through and learning all these techniques, was that, I can do all the right things and I can keep taking steps or think I'm taking the right steps. But if my mindset isn't in the right spot, I sabotage myself.
Yes.
And so I work mostly with leaders to help them and entrepreneurs to help them stop sabotaging themselves.
It is amazing how much we are our own worst enemy. I know. Yes, I know when I was leading, I did a ton of leadership programs and leadership training. I was on this 6-month rotational program. We'd get a week of training every 6 months. And, it was all of this knowledge that I had, but I could not translate the knowledge to action.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes. Looking back, knowing what I know now, I know there was a big part of it of we didn't take it and make it practical with commitments. When I work with clients, it's no, what are you going to do? What are you going to commit to do? How did it go when you did it? Or why didn't you do it? What got in the way, when you didn't do it? So there's that level, but there's also that deeper level. And what I tell people, when you're stuck, when you continue to hit the wall on these sorts of things, then it's something deeper. And I think that's where you come in.
That's where I go.
Yes.
That's way down deep.
Yes.
And in fact, like I've had so many people say to me, Suzanne, I've done everything. I've thrown everything at it. I've done the spiritual aspect. I've done Reiki. I've done tapping. I've done this. I've done that. I've done past life regression. I've done psychics. And I've done coaching, and I do mindful meditation every day, and I do the 5 o'clock in the morning thing, and I do, oh my gosh, the
All the
amount of,
things.
oh yeah, I've read the books, I've watched the things, I've done all the things. Why is it not happening still? And one of my past clients said to me just recently, she said, "This is the deep work, but I don't really have to work at it." I'm like, right. We just let the unconscious mind take care of it, the subconscious. But I absolutely love your statement of we get all like we go here. Oh, that's where it is. Okay, thank you. So we get the knowledge. We use the 10% of our conscious mind. We go, oh, we get that knowledge. I get it. That makes sense. And then we're sitting there, we're in front of somebody, and we're hearing I learned this in my training. How do I actually say this to the person? Like, because the words that they taught me aren't resonating with this person. What do I do when?
Mm-hmm.
How do I do that? It's like, how do we absorb it? How do we put it into action?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. And
Mm.
some of it, I know in a lot of courses, we try to take care of it through role playing.
Yeah.
But in role playing, it feels silly sometimes. It's not real. You don't have that emotional, like, I don't know about you, but when someone starts like snipping at you or says that trigger thing and you can feel your blood pressure just go through the roof, that's when the training has to come in. And the training is deeper than the knowledge. The training is training, like rewiring our brains. You're into the neuroscience quite deeply, like that whole rewiring of the brains, rewiring that automatic piece
Yeah.
that has to happen. And
Right.
yeah, there are several layers to it that are going to get us there. And I loved when you were telling me about what you do, like how you're getting deeper and how you're helping the clients do that. So that's amazing.
Thank you. I love what you're talking about because we have a term in psychology. It's called trigger, right? You've named it. It's the trigger. So you're in front of somebody, and this has happened to all of us. We're there. We're thinking. We're following the process. We're doing the right thing. It feels like it's going well, and then all of a sudden they've done something. It might be something that the other individual has said. The look that passes across their face and the meaning we give it as we're looking at it, and all of a sudden we're in that emotional response, and our brain goes offline. The conscious brain just goes, I bet it starts to fill up with gobbledygook, and we can't form words. And if compounded with, if somebody's had some really horrible experiences where, they've been threatened or abused or rejected or bullied or something horrible in the past, it just gets even bigger. So, like, it's this great big huge monster.
Mm-hmm.
And the person in front of them is probably just looking at them and going, I wonder what happened, why they said it that way. But we're interpreting it. And so a real life experience for me was I was in a really horrible first marriage. He was very abusive. And what I now know, many years later, after much work and doing these techniques with other people, other NLP trained people, what I now know is my trigger is when somebody, this is hilarious for you, somebody with glasses looks at me and get the 11s in the head, like the 11s in the forehead,
Yeah.
which is a processing. It's just processing,
Yep.
like. But when I would see somebody with glasses, somebody with the processing face, and if they were slightly taller than me, which is very easy because I am 5'2". Well, if they were slightly taller than me and they had all of those, that was my trigger. I didn't know that I had that trigger, but through this process, I discovered that that was what the trigger was. So you can imagine, I was in corporate. I was, I was triggered by everybody. And what I ran was panic and fear and terror because my first husband was taller than me, had glasses, and always looked at me with like he was mean. And so I would go back into my first marriage, into those moments when bad things were happening. I don't want to be too triggering here. But so you can imagine, so we call that complex post traumatic stress disorder. So that trigger of somebody looking at me trying to figure out what the heck I'm saying, which I now call processing face, I was thinking, he's going to kill me. They're going to kill me
Yeah.
because that was my experience. Because that's what my unconscious mind equated it to. You lived this before.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. I
So
get
all the
that.
training in the world, yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
all the training in the world, all the classes you can take, all the books you can read, all the people telling you what to say ain't going to help you until you clear the pattern so you no longer have it. And that's the work that I do, is clearing those traumatic patterns so that people can go, oh, they're just looking at me in curiosity and wonder. And instead of me having this panic attack, I can just go, huh, I just need to find a different way to explain this.
Yeah. Yeah. So now you have a lot of different tools that
Mm.
you can apply here. How do you, like, if you have a client come in, how do you start working with them? Like, what's
Mm.
that process look like?
I'm actually writing a new book
Oh,
talking all about this process. Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. So it's coming out sometime next year. First, I got to find the publisher. So what I do is I work with somebody and I ask them to watch a couple of videos because there's a bunch of things that the way I talk about certain things and the way I respond to a client, because sometimes often, if they're going too deep into a story and they're re-triggering themselves, I'll stop them from talking. I'll just say, stop talking. And sometimes people get a little offended when the coach tells you to stop talking.
that's
Yeah. So there's some videos that they need to watch so they can understand where I'm coming from and why. And then I have a 3-hour session with them and I do something called a detailed personal history and I ask them about everything. And the work that I'm doing is I'm looking to get to the deep root of the problem. I'm looking to uncover how their brain's doing the problem. I'm looking for events where the similar, I'm looking to tie it all up so that I can get to the root problem so we can uncover that and for them to actually just get out all the things that have happened to them because oftentimes I'm the only person that they've ever shared much of their deep, dark things. A familiar phrase that a lot of my clients say is, I've never told anybody this. And then they'll tell me something. So I create that in the first 3 hours. The second session, we do a hypnosis technique, which clears something called gestalts of every time they've ever felt anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt in the past, and whatever major negative emotion they may have felt. That's doing it. So remember I talked about when people get triggered, we feel this like volcano of emotion and we don't know what to do with it.
yeah.
That's the gestalts. It's
Okay.
like I just all of a sudden just feel, and I can't even name it. It's like I just feel all this stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
so with this technique in the second session, it just clears it. People, I cannot. This is why I have to do the work. Keep going with the sessions. We do multiple sessions. Is they'll say to me, seriously, it can't be that fast. It's okay. We're gonna do some actions. I'm still gonna meet with you. We'll meet again in a couple of weeks, and then we have 90-minute sessions every couple of weeks until they've met their, we call it evidence criteria. So what that means is until they say, oh my gosh, my goal was I know the problem's going to be gone when I've doubled my income. I know the problem's going to be gone when what would be another one? I've attracted 10 or more clients. But we have something tangible, not, I feel happy.
Yes.
We want to measure it.
Yes.
And
Oh, go ahead.
no, that's okay.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna jump on the profit thing that you were just talking about, or the revenue sort of thing, because what you're talking about, what you're doing is very much in our brains inside the neuroscience, talking about past history. Yet when you're working with someone, it's because they want to double their profit or you know, it's like, wait, what?
Wait. Yes.
Yes.
How is that connected to the other, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's hilarious because this is a holistic process. I was
Mm-hmm.
just chatting with a client today. We've just wrapped up 4 years of working together. She's had exponential growth and she wants to, and I said, do you want to do it again? And she's like, heck yeah. I went, okay. So, and we're just going off and we're just doing nuances of different things. But essentially, what's happening is how you do anything is how you do everything. And money is just a symptom. So, like, if we're running a pattern of not worthy, I've noticed when a client comes to me and they run the pattern of not worthy, they don't charge what they should be charging. They're not asking for the money. They're offering to do too much. So they're over delivering, and under paying for themselves. They're the leader that is not going in and asking for the raise because they're not speaking up in meetings. Um, they're when so so it's everything. It's not just simply asking when they're not running when they're running not good enough, when they're running unworthy, when they're running not good enough, they won't go out into the world and show up bigger. They'll kind of just pull back.
Mhm.
When they're running powerless, I've noticed that this one really affects the voices a lot more. Like they're
Interesting.
not standing in their power. They're not showing up with authority. They're not. It's really interesting how each root problem has different symptoms.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that not as many of my clients run, but unlovable is another pattern. So they're not in the relationship that they want. They're not attracting the clients that they want. They're trying to get their love needs solved by overdoing and overperforming. And so there's some nuance and some crossover you can see, but
Mhm.
there's always a root problem. And those are the four big ones: powerless, unworthy, not good enough, and unlovable.
Interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, I hear those come up in a lot of different paths of like psychology. Some not necessarily in coaching, but I know in like my faith-based background, like the wounds that come up, like unlovable, that sort of thing. Like these are all things that were generated because of something that has happened or occurred to us. A hurt
Mm-hmm.
has
Mm-hmm.
happened and created a wound.
Yeah.
And now we've got this, I've heard people call it like attachment theory, like a different, whatever it might be, but it has a lot of different names. But the
Yes.
result is you have to get to it. You have
Mm-hmm.
to mend it or heal it. So, what are you doing with your client? Are you mending it? Are you healing it? Are you bringing it to light? Like, what is the thing that's happening?
Yeah. So we're inviting the unconscious mind. I guide them through their unconscious mind to realize when they made the decision that they had that root problem. Because when we make a decision, we take our power back. If we believe, oh, this is just the way I'm wired and I can't do anything about it, then their unconscious mind won't release that for them. But if I can get them to a place where they can go, oh my gosh, yeah, I remember the event when I was 3 years old. And I remember that I was standing there watching my parents, they were discussing something about, oh my gosh, they were talking about, my uncle who was doing this and was doing that. And that, like, do they really remember it?
Mm-hmm.
It could be, or maybe they just they just heard the story over and over again and it implanted that. But it's always before they're 7. Usually we can get them back to a place. Sometimes they literally can't remember. If people have experienced a lot of trauma, they can't remember before 7.
Mm.
And that's a concern. So we don't actually go back to the moment. We'll just guide them through hypnosis and just ask them to float above their timeline to that moment and just pretend that they could remember. Just pretend. Just make it up. Because then the unconscious mind will just get, this is what I love about it. It's just a process of imagination. Just pretend. And then they get learnings from it. So like instead of thinking, okay, I am powerless about that,
Mm-hmm.
they could go, well, wait a second, I am powerful. Look at what I've done in my life. And so we get the wisdom from their unconscious mind, and that really helps them.
Yes, that's great. It is essentially like it's maybe creating, but it's creating a new story
Yeah.
around the memory or around the feeling. It's creating something that's changing that thought in that pattern. I've talked about the thoughts, feelings, behaviors, results circle a lot. So anybody
Okay.
who's a regular listener
Yeah.
knows this, but this is about basically changing that thought. And we have control of our thoughts, but sometimes we can't even see that control. And that's
Mm.
like we don't know how to control it or it's controlling us in some way. And we can't get a hold of it. And that's I
So
think
in this situation, I'm working more with the emotions, which are in the
okay.
domain of the unconscious mind.
Okay.
So in the world of NLP, we believe, so you've got similar components. So we've got the thoughts
Uh-huh.
plus our physiology create the emotion.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
And then the emotion drive the behavior through strategies. So if we want to change the behavior, we don't start there. We go up here to the thought, which is
Mm-hmm.
where you're starting the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the emotions are so down deep in the unconscious mind, we can't think them. We can't think, we can't talk about it enough. We can't think the problem away. As Einstein said, the same thinking brain that created the problem is not the same brain that will solve the problem. So we go into the unconscious mind. We go into deep down into their unconscious mind through hypnosis, through metaphor, through reframing, through all the processes and techniques. And I come at it from multiple different ways over multiple different sessions sometimes. Sometimes it takes more than one session,
Mm-hmm.
often. And sometimes it's done in the one session. I had one client, she did 4 sessions with me and she went off. She went from $120,000 a year to $1 million. Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And what also happens with people, my clients, is not only like it's not just the money that changes, it's the relationships with family, significant others.
Mhm.
They deepen and get better. It's a holistic.
Okay. But it's like you said, how we do one thing is how we do everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if we're operating out of that misinformed thought or whatever we want to call it, but if we're operating out of that thought that's not true, yeah, then we're going to operate that way everywhere because
Yeah.
it's our wiring.
Yeah. And so in my world, way back in 2014, before I started to take all these trainings, I was blowing up business relationships all over the place. And when I finally stepped back and I realized, okay, it's not everybody else's fault. What's going on with me? Why did they all leave me? And it's not just in my business, but it was happening with my client, like with my centers of influence that were referring clients, but also with my clients, also with friends, also with my family. It's like, So there's something happening. And it wasn't until I took, it was a while later before I realized, oh my gosh, I realized I was running complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I was waiting for other people to hurt me,
Yeah,
which is a problem in business.
it is. It is. It probably will happen, but at some point.
Yeah, but now, and this is where you were talking about, somebody, you're sitting in front of somebody and they're triggering you and you're having all of these emotions and you forget what to say and you don't know how to, you're just, right?
Mhm.
Well, now when a trigger comes up, when somebody looks at me with the 11s and the glasses or says something that might be triggering, I lean in and I go, oh, that used to trigger me. Okay, what's going on with this person? What's going on? How can I serve? What could I say differently so that they can hear me in a better way? Or ask a question. Hey, what's going on with you? You've gone silent all of a sudden. Or can you tell me more about that? What's happening? And I don't take it as personally.
Mhm.
Gosh, that was the only thing.
That is so powerful, and I have to believe that everybody has been in that situation where their emotions have just taken over because of it, and like you said, blown up the conversation, blown up the relationship, blown up the deal, whatever you want to say. And yeah, it's the to not do that and to actually take it and make it a stronger relationship, a stronger business deal, a stronger
Yeah.
whatever. Like it is going to be powerful
Mm.
and beneficial.
So what we've been talking about, really interesting, we've been talking about a lot of the NLP. So like the thoughts plus the feelings, behaviors,
Uh-huh.
all of that. That's one aspect. And then there's what we talked about a little bit is the strategy, the trigger, what's happening inside of your head, then the emotion that you feel, which causes a behavior. And there's another one that is parts.
Yes.
Parts pop up
Mm-hmm.
thinking that they're protecting us, but they were formed before we were 7. And that's another one that could be an emotional quagmire for people of, oh goodness, all of a sudden, you've heard this, like, oh my gosh, that person was all of a sudden they were behaving like a 2-year-old
Mm-hmm.
because they were stuck in their 2-year-old part.
Yes.
So as leaders and business owners and entrepreneurs, we've got to make sure all the parts are integrated into the whole, which is the calmer, enlightened individual,
Mm-hmm.
and not fractioning out and causing us to behave in ways that we don't want to behave.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so when all of these get online, that's why we make more money.
Yeah. When that 3-year-old, I did some part work, and my most prominent one that I discovered early on was this 3-year-old like to jump up and down. And when that 3-year-old joins the business meeting, it's not good.
Yeah. I used to have a 4-year-old part, and I discovered that when she wasn't getting the attention that she wanted, she would cry.
Oh, that's not fun.
Really not professional at 41 years old in a business.
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
Oh, it's big
So
fun.
much fun.
Yeah, but this is all changeable. Like if we can decide it or do it or form it,
Mm-hmm.
we can clear it, and often faster than people think.
Mm-hmm.
I have one client that I'm working with right now. She's been working on it for 15 years, clearing voices from past negative relationships. And she says, I've been working on this for 15 years, Suzanne. I said, okay, that's about 15 and a half years too long, 14 and a half years too long. This will be cleared in the next couple of months. She's like, okay. So we're a month in.
Nice.
I'll let you know how it goes.
I'm excited to hear. Excellent. So, when would you recommend somebody to come to you? Is it when they're struggling in this sort of environment? Is like they want a goal, or like what type of people should come knock on your door, proverbial door, I
Yeah.
guess?
Well, I'm always happy to talk to people. Like always happy to, if I'm the right person, I'm happy to, make an offer. If I know somebody, I'm happy to do that. So I'm always happy to chat with people. My door is open. My calendar is pretty good right now. I think it's really that person who can no longer, we talked about it at the beginning of our conversation today, when you said it's, you can help them with the thinking and the processing and a lot of that. But when they get to the thing where they keep feeling like they're up against a brick wall, or they keep trying to do the same thing and expecting a different result, and their definition of insanity, and they're not getting there. So it's when they keep going, it's got to be easier. There's got to be a better way. I've tried many different things and it's not working. That's usually who I help the most, because they're ready to surrender. It's like, okay, I've done it all. But even if you haven't done it all, like I've had clients that have done nothing, but like other types of work, and
Yeah,
just gone, well, let's see if this works, and it does.
there you go.
And again, I'm tenacious and I keep working with them until it does.
Awesome. That is so good to hear too. All right. Well, Suzanne, this was such an enlightening conversation. And I know that the listeners are going to be able to take this and help them understand themselves, help them understand what's getting in the way for their team members, and look to you for some resources there too. So
To
excellent.
help. Yeah.
Yeah. So
This is the biggest resource that I have, Christina. Could share my book.
excellent. I was just about to say, what's new and
Oh, I'm sorry.
exciting? No, no worries. Go for it. Let's hear about your book. I'm so excited for it.
So this book, so Sarah and I wrote it. So Sarah is my client, and I started writing a book about NLP. It was going to be very dry. and I was in her program, and she said, Suzanne, I'm writing a book about how NLP has helped me exponentially increase my revenue and my business and my life and etc. What if we combine? And I went, absolutely, I'd be happy to. She was already a 5-time best-selling author and I was a newbie.
Nice.
So we created this book together, Millionaire Codes. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and in Canada at Chapters Indigo. And you can get it in all the Amazon marketplaces, in ebook and in print. And what I love about Sarah is that she is just genuinely out there helping people to be the best they can be. I should probably set you up so that you can get her on your podcast too.
That would be nice.
And she was one of my client who coined the term millionaire maker for me, because she came to me when she was making between $300,000 and $500,000 a year. She was trying really hard, doing all the things, and she wasn't able to get through the revenue ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And she hired me in August of 2021, and by early December 2021, so 110 days later, I counted them. She reached $1,009,000, and she has stayed above 7 figures since.
Pretty
So,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, pretty amazing. So she has a story to tell of her entrepreneurial journey, and mine's in there. And we also give you ways that you can use NLP for you, how we've created it so that if you like to do this, you can do it. And we have a portal as well that people can, once they buy the book, they can access the portal, and we'll walk you through so you can put your toes in and see if this is something that you like to play with.
Amazing. So what a great resource to have too. And I'm so
Yeah.
excited for you to like that. You guys coming together at the same time, having already writing books, like somebody wanted you to write a book together.
Yeah. Hey, if she invited me to do anything, I would be like, yeah, okay, I'll come. Yeah, she's just amazing.
Exactly. That's awesome. All right. Well, it was so lovely to have you on here today. If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, best way is to go to my website. I have links all over at successandclarity.com, and I know that you're going to put it in your show notes because I shared it with you. So
excellent. So wonderful. Thank you so much. And it's been just a pleasure just to know you. So, well, thank you for sharing with my listeners as well.
And thank you. It sounds like we do a lot of similarities and some differences. So really great to be here, and I'm looking forward to staying connected. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And to the listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, first go check out Suzanne's book and her website, but also like the episode, share it with a friend, leave a review, comment on the YouTube channel, and just keep listening. All right. Thank you so much. And we will see you on the next episode of the Business Building Blocks podcast. Welcome to the Business Building Blocks podcast, where we talk about struggles and celebrations that leaders and entrepreneurs experience on their journey to success. I'm your host, Kristina, and I'm passionate about helping you achieve massive amounts of success at work and at home. We'll talk about all things people and organizational wellness, share relatable stories, and feature insightful guests, because quality people and processes are at the heart of every success story. Ready to learn, grow, and have fun? Let's dive in.